Trying to see if it's gonna line up.
You up some?
I made it away from my damn table, dude. I was getting claustrophobic over there. I decided, yeah, I need a better chair to get comfortable in.
I
All
dig it,
right, we're
brother.
looking good. All right, so, well, what have you been up to? You've been playing
Well,
Last of Us the game?
so yes, because of you, um, I've been and because of the series, I got the Jones to play The Last of Us, so I jumped back on the first one. And matter of fact, will probably be playing after we finish our little session here. Um, so yeah, been doing that, and trying to catch up on another show, which we're not here to talk about, but I haven't finished Andor yet. I have the one episode to watch. So, been. What about you, brother?
Dude, I've been playing the hell out of some Last of Us too, but it's such a slower game and a slower pace than the first one. Well, it's not slower. It's just bigger in every way.
Sure.
And man, I'm just now getting to where I'm finna catch Nora.
Wow, really? The hospital scene?
Yeah, I'm not even there. I'm not at the hospital yet. Like I'm back. I'm pretty far back.
So I know we're here to talk about episode 6, but I will say, as much as I enjoyed episode 5, the hospital scene did feel really rushed, and I know we didn't get the opportunity to talk about it because I went out of town. But that was one of
Right.
the things that I did not like about that episode, is because that hospital scene. Uh oh.
My damn table. My
No,
foot
that's
got
all good,
stuck.
bro.
All right.
Um,
Anyway, I'm sorry.
we didn't lose you. Um,
Oh,
but it was so rushed. Only if you played the game, because the hospital in the game, the infiltration of the hospital, the sneaking in, and then finding Nora and chasing her down, and all that stuff. There's so much there. It was a little unbelievable, because she just kind of, oh, there's a hospital. You know what? Let me go over there. Oh, let me sneak in. All these people. Oh, there she is. And then she runs her down, and I don't know. It felt rushed, but
I
I
feel
don't
that.
know for people who didn't play the game if they feel that way. But as the person who played the game, I was like, they kind of rushed through that.
What? Dirt. Okay. I was reading the chat. I don't know what that was.
You get random people in your chat, brother, but it's all right. We're gonna keep it moving.
Um. Anyway, yeah. I feel that, but I was feeling that. Like I said, I haven't made it to that part of the game yet. But when I was watching that episode, that was one thing that I was picking out. I was like, this doesn't feel real fleshed out, but what I've noticed with The Last of Us 2 is there is a lot of gameplay and there's not a whole lot of cut scenes in between the gameplay up until you meet somebody else. Uh, Other than the little stuff with Dina, well, up to episode 5, and so I was like, maybe they just felt the gameplay wasn't necessary to throw in here. Now, as far as this season goes, they've thrown a lot more gameplay than season 1 did.
So
There's
for me, it wasn't even the game. It wasn't so much the gameplay. It was more, make it realistic. Like, she was just, without a hitch, snuck right into the hospital, found Nora, and you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like, there was no, oh snap, ooh, they might catch me. Let me chill for a minute. Let me hold up. It was just kind of boop 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 boop. Like, you know what I mean?
right. And how convenient is it that the hospital is right there by the Seraphites?
Right. She just kind of looked and was like, oh, there's a hospital.
Right.
So that to me kind of was lame. It kind of sold the game short. But
I will say a problem that I had with episode 5 was that they didn't do the Joel scene, but what came out of that was way better. I loved it. I loved instead of having bits and pieces of Joel throughout the season, they made and also I was scared that our bottle episode was going to be a Eugene Field episode. What they did with our bottle episode was way much better. instead of having these stray cut scenes of Joel and flashback memories. That we got an entire episode of that, but it also I still would have maybe at least would have got I would have wanted something when Ellie got done playing the guitar in the theater and she's sitting there. She's obviously thinking of Joel. I would have liked to have had something there.
Yeah, I salute the gaming god and Smoby Gaming. Hello. I would I agree, but I also agree with, so one thing we got to keep thinking, right? And I know you know this, and we talk about it every time we get together, is they're consolidating two massive games into 3 seasons. And you got to, for me to enjoy the show, I gotta keep telling myself, it's only 3 seasons. It's only 3 seasons.
Right.
Um, and because of that, I kind of excuse the show for stuff that I think if they would have just, oh, if you would have just added maybe this, but I say all to say I'm pushing back on the 7 episode season. Now I think they don't realize what they had, and I think they should have made the seasons a little longer.
Yeah, I was wanting. The further we go, the more I really need a 10 episode season this
Yep,
season.
I agree 100%. I think that they have they they have a great thing, and obviously you and I love the show. That's why we're here talking about it. But they should have stretched this out within the season instead of saving stuff for the next season. Because I again, I don't want to kill the game for you, but where this is going to end, if I'm all I'm gonna say is this: where this is gonna end, if I'm correct, they are about to squeeze a bunch of shit into one episode, and season 3 is gonna be the Abby season. And if
Without
they do that,
spoiling, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, no, I was just gonna say, if they do that, I
What
don't know.
what I'm assuming is to happen. There are so in the game without spoiling too much and what exactly goes down. Because like I told you last stream, that one thing got spoiled for me.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll do my best.
but there's a big throwdown that happens in the theater in the game, and then after that throwdown, that's when you get the perspective change and you switch characters, right?
Yeah,
And it
yes,
is, yeah.
yes,
Okay, you know what
yes.
I'm talking about. Okay,
So,
so
well, no, no, no. The beginning of the throwdown is when you switch characters.
okay, yeah, I'm sorry, right.
So the
Um,
throwdown gets set up, and then you switch characters.
right, and it makes you do something anyway. Um, but what I'm assuming is to happen is I think the show's gonna fail if they tell the story through Abby's like if next season is completely through Abby's perspective, they're really throwing themselves into the wolves. Like I understand for the game how well it might have worked for those of us who are loving the game right now. But as far as an audience, like my dad, for example, somebody who doesn't play the game, actually he just started the first game, but he doesn't play the game, and so he's not aware of what's to happen and what's to come. That perspective change for a TV audience alone is not okay.
I'm gonna push
Unless
back
they
on that.
do,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, unless they do like a back and forth and they're bouncing, that could work. But a full switch, I'm not sure it
So
would.
I'm gonna push back on that for a couple of things. One is, even in the game, you don't play Abby's character the entire time of her section. There
Yeah.
is a little, not a lot, but there's a little back and forth. But for the most part, yes. Once you get to Abby, it's Abby's world for a while, and then it becomes Abby and
Ellie.
Ellie's world. And if they do that, I think it's okay. The other part is, which is, and we haven't gotten to episode 6, but I'm gonna go ahead and spoil how I felt about it. Um, for me, I don't like Ellie right now. I don't like her. I loved her in season 1. and I told you this the last time we talked. I'm waiting for Ellie to be more than who she's being portrayed as. This has got nothing to do with Bella Ramsey. Okay, I'm not.
Right.
There's a lot of
You're
people
talking about the
who.
character.
Right, there's a lot of people who hate her portrayal. I don't. I don't like Ellie, and I think that isn't. I'm hoping that
It's
is
intentional.
intentional because they want us to fill Abby's story and let
Right.
Abby become what Ellie was to us in season one. This girl who lost, who is in a really messed up situation, and you want to see how she gets out of it. If they do that, then I can see how they can maintain this audience. But Pedro Pascal made that very hard because he destroys episode 6. Oh my god. And it's going to be really tough to carry a show without him in it because if you didn't, not everyone thinks he did great, but just in case you didn't think he did great, bringing him back for episode 6 and oh oh they have
Dude.
such a tall mountain to climb to get people to be bought into this show, that knowing they're going to have to do some type of flashback. They're going to have to bring him in some shape, size, or form because there's no way they can do an entire season without him.
I'm so excited to talk about episode 6. Just a couple more things I want to touch on with episode
Sure,
5.
go ahead. But do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
I
I feel
do. I
like
completely
because
do. And I was gonna say my only concern wasn't how people would take the perspective change if they do it. It's what is there left to tell, because what the hell is he saying? To
yeah, I
have
agree
Ellie being
100%.
portrayed as a brat right now, I don't like the character as much. I love the sweet Ellie in the episode until the end. I hated her for a little brat ass ungrateful
But
kid. Yeah,
I
I
one
get it.
that's exactly what I'm saying. I cannot stand Ellie, and I'm hoping that is intentional so that we fill Abby next season. Go ahead, my bad.
No, you're good, dude. What I was saying was that the perspective change, I can see them. It's like in real life, you push people away, being scared of whether they're going to hurt you, you're going to hurt them. It's kind of that how they're pushing Ellie away from the audience and giving that space. That way, there's room for Abby to slide in and fill that
Yeah,
blank. But with the perspective change, what I'm worried about is in the game, it works. It for people who like the game, it works because you don't get her motivations, and who, you don't know that it's her dad or anything like that until the end or closer to the end. Just way later in the game that you find out why she killed Joel and her story, when we already have all of that. They set all that up beforehand. So other than the things that I'm ignorant about that I don't understand, I don't think there's a full season worth of character development and arc other than the flip in the end. What is there
oh,
left to tell?
bro, but are you talking about in Ellie's story or
No,
Abby's?
and Abby, because
Oh
they've
no,
already
dude.
said it all out.
No, but what is missing is the Ellie piece of it. We're gonna watch her and her dad, and we're gonna be like, "Damn, Joel, why'd you kill this man?"
Oh,
You know what I
oh,
mean?
okay. So that's what I'm saying. There is bits of the game I'm ignorant on. So you do get that father daughter aspect with Abby.
Sorta, but I'm
Okay,
telling you, and this is not a spoiler.
right.
Sorta in the game, but I'm telling you that in this show, based
They're
off what
definitely
I'm
going to flesh that
seeing, they're
out,
gonna go, yeah, they're gonna dive into that, right?
which is what I
So,
love about the show.
right, so all right, maybe a little spoiler. You do get to see Abby and her dad, right?
Right.
But I know that in this show, they're gonna flesh that out and make you go, "Damn, Joel, you ain't shit."
I
Right?
was thinking that about Joel at the end of episode 6, but there's a lot of things about that. Let's get into 6 right now. I got to talk
So
about it.
real quick on that note, all I want to say is, and I apologize if I spoiled it, but I don't think I did. But all I want to say is, I think that season 3, what will happen is it'll be back to the whole premise of the show, which is who was right, who was wrong. It really depends on where you stand in. And I think if they do this right when it ends, you'll the audience will be like, ah, I kind of feel Abby, or nah, Ellie was still right. But I think, and I'm hoping I'm right, that they are intentionally having Ellie the way she is so that we feel for Abby and when we go through her journey. Because in the game, you haven't gotten it yet, but you're forced to play with her and you don't like it. You feel nasty playing with her. You're like, oh, why do I have to do this? And you have to go through a lot with her and then before you realize who she is. And then you kind of like, okay, okay, I get it. Whereas this game, you already know her motivation, so they'll probably start with who she is, which will take some of the filth away. You know what I mean? Some of the
Right.
because playing with her in the game, you're like, oh, why do I have to do this? But anyways, episode 6, let's go.
Okay. So, episode 6, I love this cold opening we get with
With
Joel
Joel,
and Tommy and Joel's dad. I thought that was perfect, and the
fire.
way that the episode closes and how it comes full circle. That I'm not a dad, so I there's certain things in this
Woo,
episode
James,
that
you ain't lying, bro. I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. Ooh.
no, you good. What do you say? As a
He
father,
said,
I felt that episode deep in my soul. It's hard to feel like you do nothing right. Yeah. See, I understand a lot, but I can't tell you that I can't fully appreciate none of it because I'm not a father. But
so
understanding it all, it definitely hit hard for me too. But also as a son and seeing also, I've seen my dad and how he felt towards my other siblings and those trials and tribulations that
sure.
come with being a father and the shortcomings and everything. I've
But here,
seen it all from a different perspective. So I'm just kind of seeing the same thing over here. Go ahead.
and to James's point, what what they did a really great job of in this episode, which also made me hate Ellie more than I already have this season, is that she doesn't even recognize how deep of sacrifices that he makes just to put a smile on her face, and he doesn't tell
Yeah.
her. And he doesn't tell her, which is what a parent will do. You don't know how many hours I put in just to get you that effing toy that you just leaving on the corner there. And I'm not gonna tell you. That's not on you to know. But damn, could you at least appreciate the fact?
Right.
And one thing that they and we kind of going all over the place, but I just want to make this quick point, and then we go back to the beginning of the episode. Is the guitar? We'll come back to it, but the guitar built, carved by hand, built it for, tuned it for, put the moth on it. And in episode 1, when he walks in her room and he sees it just tossed to the side, and you see how crushed Joel is, and he just grabs it and says, "Fuck it, then you don't want it," and walks out. I felt it when I first saw episode 1. But you none of that, the hand making, all that, none of that is in the game. So watching him go through that and then revisiting what happened in episode 1 made that it hit. Man, that hit. I was like, woo, Joel. I feel you, brother. Anyways, go
See,
ahead.
I I play guitar. My guitar is by me almost at all times,
Nice.
and
Oh, he
there's
was
a there's
pissed. He was so
E-
hurt.
Ellie treats that guitar like it's nothing, and I understand the sentimental value from Joel. Like you said, he handcrafted it, and nobody knows that until this episode. So, but like you said in episode one, my first time watching it, whenever he comes in and grabs the guitar, to me, he was like coming in, grabbing the guitar, and he was like, I'll change the strings, and he's ignoring what Ellie's saying, and he's just trying to get in and get out. And he wants to make himself feel better. He's like, if I change these strings, that this is my get out of the room card, but it's also probably a get back to her card. So that's what I was thinking. And then after watching this episode, I also thought about that, and I was like, you know what? That might have been him thinking she was ungrateful. And then in this episode, I think it's her 17th birthday. She walks in the room, or he walks into the room. Seth finally got the cake right. He spelled her name right. And he walks in there, and there's that great line where he says, "Oh, you're gonna do all the teenage shit at once, huh?" These
Yeah,
tattoos,
that was
drugs, and sex.
that was freaking fantastic. Not only that, he was like tattoos, drugs, and experimenting with the opposite sex.
Right.
Uh, the same sex, excuse me. Yeah, that was a dope line too. We're going all over the place. I did want to talk about that opening scene.
Okay, yeah, let's
Uh,
get back to that. Oh, well, I'm sorry. One thing I was going to mention about the guitar is the
yeah,
first thing I noticed when he opened that door in that scene, the guitar is no longer on the stand. The guitar is kicked over against the dresser and is just thrown to the side. My older brother used to do that. He was pretty good about putting stuff back, but sometimes he'd set him over like my younger brother would. That is a nitpick of mine. Not even the story. Just seeing a guitar handled like that, it made me mad. But
yeah.
anyway.
So Joel, I mean, I feel like that symbolizes how Ellie sees Joel. Like, I mean, he's there and he has some significance, but she definitely takes him for granted because she's mad at him, which I also have issue with. But we can talk about that when we get there. And then she doesn't realize how much he meant to her, obviously, like most people, until he dies. And then it's like, oh, I really blew something amazing, because everything he gives her, she treats like, oh, okay, cool, and tosses it to the side. And you know, now that's why I will say that's one layer of the show that I like is that her straight madness it has a lot to do with the fact that she took it for granted having Joel, and then losing him, she won't be able to get him back, and so that's part of her adds to a layer of her need to take everybody out, and that I like. I have so much to say about Ellie. We're gonna save her to the end though, but that little tidbit about Joel's dad was so fire. And such a good call to do because you Reddit, YouTube, Google, everyone always talks about how Joel seems to have this hero complex, but they never really flush out why outside of the fact that he lost his daughter, right? But is that the one thing that made him be this guy who feels like he has to save the day? In the game, it
Possibly.
appears to be, but
Right.
in the show, the fact that they kind of made it like this has always been him because of his brother. It's been instilled in him that he's got a hero complex that's always been with him, and he did it with his brother. But even more importantly, he's used to lying in order to make things right, in order to take the blame, in order to shield people from being hurt from the truth. He's shown it's showing that he's willing to lie um for
To
what he
protect his
believes is
brothers.
right. And
Right.
that started at a young age. And I thought that was dope because it just adds so much to why he does what he does. It's not impulsive, it's not just love, it's him. It's who he is and
Yeah,
who
he's
he has been.
right. That's embedded from him protecting Tommy. It's like the beginning of the episode. His dad's a cop, walks in and tells him, like, hey, what happened? And he's like, you already know what happened. And then he's like, no,
Right.
I want you to tell me what happened. And then he goes to tell him, and then he just stops lying. And then whenever he stops talking, dad turns around and he's like, you're not gonna hit him. Cause he's like, my dad already knows, so why lie anymore? I'm just gonna do whatever I physically can to protect my brother. And then his dad brings him that beer. And at first, I thought it was going to be one of those moments where he's going to hand him the beer and he's going to tell him, if you're man enough to take me, you can, it's
Take
like
the
one of
beer.
those moments. Like, if you're man enough to take me, you might as well be a man enough to drink a beer. So,
Now, but what
but
was
it
dope
wasn't. It wasn't one of those moments.
no, what was dope about that moment is Joel made him see the error in his ways. And that was his dad kind of acknowledging, like, you meeting me where I'm at. That was almost like what's the word I'm looking for? Almost like a mutual respect, like, okay, you clearly have an understanding higher than your age. You're seeing me where I'm at right now. So since we're here, let's have a beer. and let's talk about where I'm at. And then his father went on to tell the story about how he got it from his grandfather, and he's just trying to do better than him. And that your father said it best. Yep, that was okay. Yeah, yep, you got me. So let's have a beer, and it was fantastic, dude. There was so many layers to that scene, and I even got a little emotional because as a father to have any of your kids, um, especially in the heat of it, check you and like mirror your mistakes is something that will humble you, break you, and what's my man name? Ah um
Joel, Tommy,
no, the actor. He was the
Pedro.
swordsman in the Hawkeye series.
Oh, I don't know. You went mute on me. Uh oh.
Hold up. There I go.
Oh.
Sorry,
I was like,
someone
what
was calling
happened?
me. Someone called me. But anyways, the acting in that scene was freaking phenomenal, dude. Like he looked crushed. Like, damn, my son. Yeah,
Yeah.
he just showed me the error of my ways. And what can I say except you right? Here's a beer. Let me tell you where I get it from, and then hopefully you do better than me. Woo!
And then how that comes full circle in the end, how he tells how how he's telling Ellie like, God willing, you ever have one of your own, just do better than I do. And what keeps happening is something else. You're talking about perspective. Majority of this episode is told through Joel's perspective. And when it
Yeah,
is, you really feel that father daughter connection. You really feel that father daughter love. And not because of Ellie's attitude, but when it switches perspectives and you're sitting there watching it through Ellie's perspective, and she even says it herself. And I've always thought this, that when it's through Ellie, they do feel like partners. They don't feel like father and daughter. They've always felt like partners when it's told through her
yeah. That's why
until
she's a
until
piece of
Joel
shit.
dies.
That's why she's a piece of shit. I don't like Ellie.
But I've always kind of thought that in the game that it kind of feels like that up until Joel gets hurt, or or when Joel dies, that's when she kind of feels like he's a dad. But you also, like Gail even said in the very first episode, that's what teenage girls do. They don't treat you like a dad. They don't treat you like a person.
So
So
true, true,
it
and
kind of makes sense.
true, and I have a daughter who's a teenager, and so I kind of hear you, but I disagree, and I tell you why. Here's where they established that she recognized him as her father figure and not just a partner. Is in same in the game in season one, where he was trying to. The game is more ice cold than in the series, but when he was trying to dump her off on Tommy, and in the game she runs away, and then they have that speech about how um you can't leave me, everyone else has left me, and I would be just as bad and I'd just be scared without you, so don't tell me that I'm better off without you. At that moment, that was not a partner connection. That she saw him as more than that. She saw him as maybe not dad, but definitely not her partner. That was her yin and yang, her I can't do this journey without you. You understand? And so because of that, I feel like this flip flop with Ellie, man. And I get it. She's getting older, which bothers me because the older she gets, the more you would think she would respect and understand their relationship. But actually, you know, so I'm gonna tell you why she said I'm your partner, because she was pissed at him. But I don't like how pissed we haven't got to that point.
No, go
So,
ahead, 'cause I know where you're going. That's a good segue on where I wanted to go. So please go ahead.
well, I thought this episode was fantastic. I really do. I think it's the best one that they've had so far, but it's not my favorite. For many reasons, but I do feel like it was the best episode that they've done so far this season for sure. But my favorite episode is the introduction to Abby and the takedown of the town. But Ellie in the game is pissed at Joel because she knows, not because she thinks she knows.
Right.
She knows. They have had this conversation, and she's had time. Oh, well, that's fine. She's had time to stew in this and get to a place where I tolerate you, Joel, but I'm still pissed at you. In the series, she's pissed because she thinks she knows, but she's treating him like she knows, and I don't like that. I didn't like that. I like the approach in the game better, where she's pissed because she knows the truth, and she treats him like a dick because she knows the truth. You lie, bro. But here, she's treating him like a dick because she thinks she knows the truth. And to me, I get it, but in my opinion, it was executed better in the game.
But also, well, hold on. Two things real quick. The context of this episode, in my opinion, makes the ending of episode 5 a lot heavier, because in the show, like you
Mhm.
said, in the game, she knows. Like,
Right.
we know she knows.
Mhm.
In the show, you're not so sure. She kind of questions
Right.
herself. So
Right.
at the end of episode 5, whenever she's being real sinister towards Nora, and she's like, you're the one, and you know what he did,
Yep.
and
Yep.
Ellie tells her, I know. And in
Yep.
my head, when I seen that, I was like, but does she? Like, is she just saying that just to be sinister? And then you get the context of this episode,
Sure.
and she's like, no, I know. And so that
Right.
makes that even stronger. Another
Absolutely
thing,
agree. Agree 100%.
another thing was the way Ellie's acting, because I've seen this with like you, my dad, Cody Leach, a couple of others. Y'all all have said certain things about Ellie's character in this, and I kind of find it funny because I think I realize it maybe more than you guys do. Is how much of that of your opinion on Ellie's character this season may be because you're a father and you will not tolerate that type of disrespect to your kid? So, like, you seeing
That's
another
funny.
kid doing that towards their father figure makes you wanna do a little bit of drive-by parenting?
So that's funny, and I never even thought of it that way. But you might be on to something. But I I for me it's because of the game. It's not because of again, not because of Bella. I just liked, because in the game she's feisty, she pushes back too. So
But she's
my
not
issue
annoying
though,
or angsty.
right. So my issue is the Ellie in the series shows no change. She's always, at least in this season, she's quick on the draw, always angry, always pissed, always gonna do what she wants. Never listens. Like, it's like, and then even in how she responds to stuff, it's like, why are you here already? Like, dude, is there not like some type of you know what I mean, modulation? Like, she's always here. And that piece bothers me. But you do bring up a interesting point. But in the game, she's kind of feisty. But
Yeah.
yeah, she's just like a unappreciative little jackass. And maybe that is the dad in me. Like, let me come through this screen real quick and teach you a lesson or two.
Right. Like that scene from, Jay and Silent Bob when they drive by and they jump out and they start whooping that kid.
But the problem is she's 19, bro. Like, she's 19. So, like,
How
I
she
don't even
talks
view her as a
sometimes.
kid. I feel like at this point you should have shown some growth, and she hasn't. And that bothers me about her character. But I also believe that they're making me feel that way so that I like Abby. At least that's what I hope is happening.
like yeah, we were talking about in the beginning was
Yeah.
that all this pushback could be for us to not only later on in episode 6 see the controversy between her and Joel, but also to push Ellie back for us as an audience to emotionally push her back and leave that room for Abby to come in.
Right. And then kind of make our choice in season 3 and when it wraps.
Okay,
But that's a good call out. I never thought about it that way.
I've been thinking about it because like people look at me as a kid and I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me like it used to. But I noticed how it's funny that all of my opinions, because I don't have kids, are completely different. Yet I understand where everyone comes from. But like
Yeah.
all you dads out here, Ellie, she needs her ass whooped. And I'm like, don't you think that
Beat
might be
her
because you're
ass.
a dad? And it's like you all have teenage daughters, so you understand.
That's hilarious.
Uh, but hold on. You've seen Bad Boys, haven't you?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Is Eugene the captain from Bad Boys?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought so, dude. And
Joey
they're like,
Pastorino, whatever his name is. Sorry.
yeah. I made a joke last night. I posted on Twitter. I said, "That's how you make a Last of
Pantoliano.
Us episode." And from now on, that's how you make a Last of Us episode.
Listen, so real quick, can we just talk about that? The two cameos, like they were small roles, but the two actors, they killed it. Joe Pantoliano is how you say his name, but I was hope to your point. I was expecting a Eugene centric episode, but when it wasn't, but when you see, wow, what a scene, dude! Like he was in it for what 10 minutes, and
If
he
that.
killed it,
Dude
killed it.
carried the like the ending of this episode. He carried it. Him and Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, dude, they messed up with Pedro, bro, because the audience is gonna want more of that because he was phenomenal.
Dude, I am striving. I need a separate TV show because Pedro's still young. I need a separate TV show of Joel and Tommy in those 20 years. I don't need Ellie. I need Joel. I need Joel and Tommy.
Like a prequel.
A spinoff. Give me a
Listen,
spinoff.
they could do that, but and this is kind of leads to episode 6 is Joel is not a good guy. Like
No,
he's not a good dude. In episode 6, for everybody who is kind of questioning how much they love Joel and is he right, is he wrong?
Joel, Tommy, and Tess. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be dope. Joel, actually, there was talks at one point that the next game was going to be a Tommy led game, but then they scratched it. But they actually have the like not in development, but like scripts written for it. So there's some material out there. But anyways, um Joel's not a good dude.
Mm-mm.
And he's just someone who loves a girl and found new meaning in life through her. But he's still Joel, and he's gonna make decisions based on what he thinks is best. And so the way they killed Eugene is nowhere near what any of us expected, but it was perfect Joel. And it makes sure, and I feel like they did that because the audience, like we mentioned earlier, they gotta let Joel go. We have to be able to go, Joel's a dickhead. No, we gotta put him to the side. Because right now, especially people who don't play the game, they're so hurt about Joel not being there. And we're forgetting, Joel is not okay. He is a
Joe,
bad dude.
not only is he a he is a murderer. He is a serial killer.
Right.
Like
Listen,
to
in the game, they allude to him killing not just he like
he killed
men, women, and
innocents.
children.
Yes, pregnant
Like they
women.
allude to that in the game.
And I will say that the whole Eugene situation I thought was way. Joel is a thug of the apocalypse because they have no long distance communication, really.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's so funny. That's so funny because it's true. Because everybody's heard about this guy
That's
across
like
the country.
that's
Across the
actually
country.
what I preferred in the game more than I did in the show is that, how
That's funny.
like, when you get Joel's death, it's Dina who tells it off and then Abby tells it off.
Hmm.
And in the show it's completely different. Tommy's like, "Have y'all ever heard of us before?" Or Tommy says who they are, and then everything gets so still and quiet, and Joel's
And
kind of
Joel
looking
says, "Y'all
around.
acting like you heard of us before."
That scene is chilling. But
Yeah.
anyway, go that was on what my dad said.
But yeah, so the point I'm making is that we were talking about the spinoff is that would be crazy because you would see Joel. He's not a good dude. Like, you know what I mean? He changed. He kind of turns his life around because of the love of his daughter. Like, for example, you see how you just dropping that kid's dead body like it was nothing. Like, throw him in the
Dude,
fire. Like, wow.
that is somebody numb.
Exactly. There you go. Numb is
Uh,
probably the best way of saying it.
Very numb. And all right, so part of me w- this is actually a really good character arc, and especially in Craig Mazin's writing, where you go from seeing Joel and Sarah and their relationship, and then Sarah's death, and then 20 years later, how Joel dumps a dead kid's body into a fire and doesn't even move a muscle. He doesn't blink, and then you come all the way up to where he kills an entire hospital full of fireflies to save this one little girl, and then you get to that end where he lies to her and says all these things and then promises her and looks her dead in the eye and promises her. And then you get to the end of this episode where they have the conversation on the porch. Before the porch conversation, this whole time, a part of me actually gets a little disgusted at Joel. Even in season one, I felt like he doesn't love Ellie, he loves Sarah, and he doesn't even see Ellie. And his because even when he kills Eugene, he says, "You always see the ones you love. You always see their face." And so I feel like this whole time he's been walking around with Ellie and seeing Sarah. That's who he sees. And it's kind of disgusting in a way that he's using this person's body just to have he don't care about who they are. He sees Sarah. And so like it's like perfect for him. And then you get to the end where he says those words to Ellie, you know what I'm talking about?
Hmm.
We'll get there. Well, screw it. But when he tells her that he loves her,
He
I
loves you. I
actually
know.
almost started crying.
Yeah, it was
But in
good.
that moment, he was telling Ellie that he loves her. He was not talking to Sarah like he
Right,
had.
right.
In my opinion, he's been talking to Sarah this whole time. But
Hmm.
in this moment, in this time, he's playing all these things in her head, in his head when she's talking to him, and he's telling Ellie, "No, I love you. Like whether you think I'm your dad or not, regardless of how you feel, I love you." And
Um, Go ahead.
that hit hard.
Yeah, so that's an interesting perspective. And that's definitely one way of looking at it for sure. First, I did want to address what James said. He said, "Is Joel a bad guy or is he a product of his environment?" I think
Yeah,
Joel's environment turned him into a bad guy.
yeah, that's what I was
Um,
exactly what I was gonna say.
but that he being with Ellie is reminding him of what he could be, but some of his environment is hard to let go of. But what back to what you said, I think that's a great perspective, and I think mine is like a blended version of yours, and that is that Ellie became Sarah for sure in season one. Um,
Maybe
but
after
but
David
but
is when he starts seeing Sarah.
so follow me. She became Sarah, meaning I couldn't save my daughter, but maybe I can save this girl, right?
Right.
So that was kind of like the driving point of him pushing forward, while also honoring uh, um, Tess. But I do feel like because they were similar in age, he saw another girl like his daughter who he wasn't able to save. Maybe he can save her. Superhero complex coming in, right? Kicking in.
Mhm.
But also the daughter piece. But to your point, the David piece let him know that struck him, and she became Sarah for him. Like at that point, she was his daughter. But I don't see that he was like making her Sarah. I'm saying she became his daughter, his child at that moment. But that is an interesting perspective. But I do think that in that conversation, um, because Ellie got to an age where Sarah never got to. So that's why one, this was all new to him, but two, that's why I saw her. I feel he saw Ellie. He saw Ellie, but he saw her as his child. Where Ellie, to your point, never really took him on as dad, but definitely took him on as my sole protector, and I can't be in this life without you. Until she realized he was lying and then made a decision. I'm gonna be with you, but I don't like you. Right?
Right.
But that's an interesting perspective. I like it.
Another thing is I've told it to a couple people, and they're like, "Well, what do you think whenever he's mentioning Sarah to Ellie? Who's he thinking about?" And I'm like, "Well, he's not crazy. He's conscious. Like he sees Ellie. He knows who he's talking to. Obviously, it's just a matter of like exactly how you said how he's talking to Ellie and he's thinking about Sarah, and when he's talking to Ellie about Sarah, he still feels like he's talking to Sarah's spirit. He feels
Sure.
like there's Sarah's spirit has a hold of Ellie. He still sees Sarah's silhouette around Ellie.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
anyway,
Can we talk
um,
about can we talk about the museum?
yes,
You
dude.
played that part in the game, right?
Yeah, I'm past that. Dude, that had me cheering. I was laying in my bed watching the show, and I stood up and I was like, "No way, are they gonna do it?"
Phenomenal. But not only that, it was like almost frame by frame identical to the game. I was like, wow. Even her climbing up the dinosaur, which by the way,
Which I didn't know
FYI,
you could do.
so thank you for saying that. Because in full transparency, I didn't know you could do that until the second time I played through. Well, the second time I played through, I said, you know what? I wonder if I can. Oh my god, I can climb on the dinosaur! That was literally the second time I played through. I learned that. But the fact that they included that in the game in the show, I was like, oh my god! And she says the exact same thing in the game. I'm riding on top of a motherfucking dinosaur. I loved it. And then
I know it probably is a trophy. I'm so mad about it. I'm glad I
is
saved
it? I
right
wonder if
before
it
it.
is.
It probably
I
is.
wonder if it is. I have to go back and look. But like I said, I didn't realize it until my second playthrough. But um the even down to the stars on the wall and the thing where you rotate it and the universe,
Yeah, and
bro,
yeah.
and the helmet was identical to the game. And dude, where they have her face shot, the frame and the lighting is like identical. I
And then
couldn't
the
believe it.
shake, dude.
That was fire. That was
I
so fire, dude.
I was fangirling. I was sitting there like, dude, I was wanting to send you voice memos. I was like wanting to scream into the phone and tell you, dude, you're gonna love this. But then I was like, oh, bro's sick. He probably ain't watched it yet.
Yeah, man. I was laying up on the couch with a blanket wrapped over me watching it yesterday. But yeah, man, that was and that's why all you got from me was the fire emoji. That's all I had in me. I went to bed.
That's all
I
I
was
had in me. I went to bed.
said boop boop. Good night. Um, but yeah, man, that was a beautiful scene, and that they both acted it out so well. So, what did you think of? year. So the first birthday is the dinosaur trip, which was freaking fantastic. I wish they would have did a little bit of the hotel scene, but that's just me because that
That's what
part
I
was
was thinking about too. I was like, it'd be cool, and also like going back for a second, I was worried like when I said I whenever they got past the rotating the galaxy or whatever, I was like, "No way, are they finna show the space shuttle?" And when they showed it, I freaked out, and then I was like, "Where's the helmet?" She went to go open the door, and I started freaking out. I was like, "Please, no, get out! Don't go in. Get the helmet." And then Joel hands her the rock, and that's like a Last of Us 2 thing where you can break glass in this game.
but more importantly, that was like a Ellie from this TV series attitude. That's something this Ellie would do is take a rock and smash it.
And that was
Um,
like him giving his grace, like, "Hey, be a little
Mhm.
destructive, go
Yeah,
crazy."
yep.
One thing I do love, and like you was talking about with the guitar, was how you fight tooth and nail to get your kids something, and sometimes you're not going to tell them how much it cost or how much things you had to go through to get them that thing. But like, man, come on, appreciate it. It's the only time Joel actually hands her something and she appreciated
Oh
it. But
yeah, she
he
loved it.
made sure to tell her like, I went to extreme lengths to get this.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, he did. He did. He did. He told her this was very, very hard to come by, and she showed him the appreciation of it.
again, that is the happiest moment they've ever had in their lives. I think in their lives ever probably, and they're in their lives together. And what's so special about that moment is that is the happiest they will ever be together, not knowing that it's all downhill from there.
I mean, at least in the series, they may have had other moments, but we don't know. But that's definitely the happiest we will see them for sure.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
sorry, my verbiage was
no,
off.
no, you might be right. And I've heard other people say that that's unfortunate that that was their happiest times. Like, well, we don't know, because the next scene is actually 2 years. The next birthday, no,
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 it's a
it's
2 year
2 years.
jump.
It's 2 years later, right? So
It's
who
from
knows?
no, it is 1 year because that the museum was
Yeah,
16, so the sex, drugs, and rock and roll was
17.
17.
Right. So it was the next year, and then it was 2 years after that. So I mean, who knows? That could have been their happiest last happy moment, but um the point though is that uh he got her, and she saw that he got her, which is why how she treats him after that really irks me, because it's like you all had this moment where you got each other, and yeah, they have a teenage parent moment. I mean, no parent walking into their room, seeing their kids smoking weed, getting tattoos, half naked, is going to react in a way that's going to please anybody. Matter
It
of
was
fact, Joel definitely maneuvered that better than most.
I would have
Uh,
been all over something, not because and I seen this stupid shit on Twitter, people saying, "Oh wow, they made Joel a bigot." Like, no, no matter what kind of parent you are or how accepting you are, it's not who she's finger banging, it's the fact that she's doing it. It's his daughter. His senses are to protect. And so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's like
It
it's
wasn't
not
about the
even the
fact that it was a woman.
sex. Right. It's
Who
like it's
said
not
that?
even
That's so stupid. People
it's
just
not
be
even
looking for something to be mad at.
exactly. But, like, it's the fact that it's not and, this could also be my older brother coming in, but it's it's not even that she was doing that if I was to catch my younger sisters or my daughter one day in the future, doing something like that, it's not what they're doing only. It's also that, hey, you're going down a path that could lead you to hurt and pain. Like relationships can hurt you. And as my little sister, as my daughter, I don't want you to get hurt. So part of that in Joel is also, I can imagine probably thinking, okay, this is a lot. I don't know what to do. And I'm his protection, the hero in him kicks in and it's just fight or flight. but
So
he still handled it very well compared to what most people would.
so if I yeah, I might get let me navigate this right because I don't want to come across the wrong way. So I want to be careful with what I say here. But if you look at it from a character standpoint, when the world ended in their world, it was what, 2002,
3.
2003.
Yes, sir.
So the idea of your or anyone for that matter hooking up with same sex wasn't nowhere near celebrated and accepted, right? In 2002 as it is in 2025, right? 2026, 2027, or whatever year it is in their lifetime. And a lot of that was through social media and growth as a society where things have become more acceptable and so on and so forth. So Joel would say experimenting because in his head he doesn't know Ellie is gay. They never had that conversation. She never showed that to him. And it's not that like today where it's anything. Every it is what it is.
You're more safe being gay than you are straight.
I mean, just it's every it's life, right? Is what I'm saying. It's life.
Right.
Whether you agree, disagree, whatever it is, it's life. So as a parent, from then seeing their child and not knowing their situation, and even when he said it, he's not saying it like I hate you for doing this. He's saying, yo,
He's
you gonna hit me
confused.
with everything a teenager's gonna do right now all at once: drugs, tattoos, and sex with the opposite same sex. Like damn, you hit me with the trifecta is what he was saying.
Right.
Like it wasn't like hate, like oh damn you to hell for sleeping with this woman. He was just like, yo, you blowing me up, right? You destroy, you killing my mind right now, dude. You just hit me with everything. And then when she says, well, it's not an experiment, they both catch him in it. And he was like, let me fall back. Oh, yeah, that was probably not the right thing to say, because clearly she actually likes this girl. Or whatever. He took a moment, she took a moment, and he was like, you know what? We're gonna talk about this later because you're clearly not yourself right now. Because she was high. And he walked out. That doesn't make him, this I can't stand people
Yeah.
sometimes, man. I can't stand
It's insane. It's like
I haven't even seen that. I'm glad I haven't because I'd be on a
that's like
lot
my boss at
blowing
work.
people up.
He kind of stopped. I'm in the South, like bottom of Arkansas, and so the way certain people think is still pretty
Sure.
old.
Sure, sure,
Um,
sure.
my boss, he's not what people would call a bigot by any means. He's all for be who you are. He just doesn't want to see it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so that's like he quit watching the show because if you look through a certain person's lens, it's like, yeah, it can be a lot. Like he says season one, he was fine with episode three he watched. He was like, but then you get to episode seven and it's that, and then you get to all these other things. I'm like, but yeah, you also
Hey
don't have the
bro.
context of the game. Like this, it's
Right.
not different from the game. And he said, I understand that. I just don't want to see it. And I said, well, that's all you. He didn't disrespect. He didn't name call.
I
He didn't do
just
that.
I just
So
don't see how this made Joel a bigot. Like that makes no
exactly.
sense to
It's
me.
like he's not a bigot. You can't say that. It's like we're not bigot sandwich with Seth, okay? It's like and even Seth has redeemed himself in this show.
And
Like
all he
bigot
said was experimenting with, because in his mind that's his baby, like that's his baby, that you know what I mean. He's not seeing her as a an adult even though she's 17. He's seeing his baby smoking weed, getting a tattoo, half naked with another girl.
right.
You know
And
what I mean?
it's like anybody would kind of act out a little bit, but like I said, he was so mature and
He would have been the same way if it was a
a
boy. He'd be like,
dude.
get the hell out.
I would have been worse if it was a dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I want a gay daughter and a straight son. I'm gonna be honest.
That's because you know men. I get it.
that's
Um, but anyways, we going down a rabbit hole.
that's a bad joke. I'm sorry.
No,
Um,
we going down a rabbit hole. But
and not a safe one either.
yeah, let me pull you out, bro. Um, but so yeah, no, I get it. So I will say that your dad said the same thing. Is that the I think that sorry,
Damn, you
El-
trying to change your mind real quick.
I think that Ellie's being gay adds an interesting level to the love triangle that is created in this game that we will see, I hope to see come to fruition in this season, and wouldn't be as powerful if she wasn't, because it adds
Right.
another level of uh, drama to that relationship. But that we haven't gotten there yet, so I won't cross that bridge. But um, so we're at that birthday 17 pissed me off because, like, yeah, that it was a little more acceptable because she was at that point she was on some teenage shit. So I got it. And I was like, all right, she's being a teenager. She wants to rebel, blah, blah, blah. And, you don't owe nothing. You don't owe nothing. And it's like, that was a low blow, but Joel ate it. He's like, all right, yeah, you're right. And again, Joe, being the loving father, gave her space. You know what? You're right. Just give me some time. Let me build up the garage and it's yours. And you know what? Honestly, at 17, most kids desire their own space. They want their own room and time and away from and as a parent, that's not the time we look forward to, because when you have kids, when they're babies and they're young, all they want to be is with you. And as a father and a mother, you enjoy these opportunities because there's going to come a time when they're not going to want to be next to you, when you're going
That's
to be the enemy, when you're not going to be their friend. And um so that birthday was acceptable to me. And the problem is that Ellie is the Ellie we see all the time, no matter how old she is. And that bothers me, man. It bothers me so much. It's like I don't see any distinction between 19-year-old Ellie, 17-year-old Ellie, and 15-year-old Ellie. And that's a problem to me. And it's really starting to bother me. And I hope it changes. But, anyways.
to me, it didn't bother me too much. Again, I'm not a parent, so I didn't really care.
No,
Uh,
so I got it because she was acting as a 17-year-old. So
right,
I like the scene. My issue, though, is that is Ellie. Like, that's all we
right.
see.
It's like you're just sick of seeing it. I
Right.
understand that.
Right.
I kind
Right.
of am too. To me, that scene just it helped me because it gave a lot of context on why Ellie's been acting the way she has.
Sure.
Because there's been a lot of like almost ambiguity in the way she's been acting, and then like the day Joel dies, you get that throwaway line where she tells Jesse to shut the f up, and her and Joel fix their problems, and just he don't. Everyone in the town needs to stop worrying about them. You get quick whippy things like that from Ellie, and it makes me want to just tell her off because I'm like, dude, shut up. You're
Yeah,
being
man.
awful. But
Yeah.
anyway,
So
um,
go ahead. You got it.
what I was gonna say was when what you were talking about with teenagers getting their own space, he talks himself into letting her do that because for one, he doesn't have any control in what she has to do, but he's trying, and he's trying to not necessarily control this, just to guide her. He's trying to do what his dad said. He's trying to be a better dad than what his dad was.
Right.
And so he's like, okay, well, if you're going to get all this space, and like you said, parents missing that time when they're little and stuff like that, and when a kid wants you, he goes, okay, well, how about we compromise heavily? I'll give you your own space. I'll fix it up for you. And I'll even let you go on patrols. But we're going to be doing it together because that's my time with you. That's when we'll be able to spend our time together. Is when you're still doing something you want. You still get your alone time at home, but at least I can make sure you're safe. I can have your back. You can have my back, and we can be together. And
Which led
so I
which
love
led to
that.
the 19-year-old birthday. Yeah, I agree.
I love that.
No, yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Um, so yeah, I'm not to backtrack, but really quickly, what tainted all of those scenes, as much as I love them, is just again that I don't like that Ellie is this all the time. That's it. That's the only thing that, except for the first birthday. The first birthday was magnificent.
Yeah.
Everything else is just like, oh my god, yeah, we know Ellie, you're a bitch. We get it. No, she's not, but she was a kid.
No, she is.
But the problem is she's still acting like a kid, and that bothers me a lot. Um, but if we can get to, because we talked about it, I want to get to Ellie dropping dime on Joel. What did you think of that? Ellie
So
snitching on Joel and telling uh
I
what's
thought
her name? Ashley.
I was completely on her side.
Okay.
I
Why?
was 100% because I understand, like, as a father, like, even when Joel killed Eugene, he wasn't thinking about protecting the community. Joel is selfish, but in this point, he's also actually really thinking about Ellie's safety. And the reason he killed Eugene is for Ellie. He doesn't want to take Eugene back. And what if, okay, well, Eugene's 10 feet away from Gail, but she probably won't be 10 feet away from Ellie. I don't
Oh,
trust that
you think he was protecting Ellie in that?
he was. I don't doubt
Hmm.
that one bit. I 100% think he
Interesting.
was. I 100% think he was. Because who was he killed that he.
I love your dad, by the way. I'm just reading his comments. Go ahead.
Who is Joel killed in the show or the game that wasn't to protect Ellie?
Ah, true. True.
Whether it was to get to Ellie and he was, he got split up and
Ah,
he's been trying to get to Ellie, or he's trying to get Ellie away from somebody, or he's trying to just strictly protect Ellie. He hasn't made
wow.
one kill without protecting Ellie.
Dude, that is freaking fantastic, bro. I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of that. That just made that scene even that much better to me.
The
Because
way
yeah,
he's feeling guilty, and he's just is that hero father instinct kicks in the whole time. He goes to tell Eugene to go left, and instead his dad and his hero kicks in. He's like, no, go right. And
hmm.
you see that in his face. His face is saying, no, don't do this, and he's tearing up. He doesn't want to do it, but his
Yeah, but
instincts
I
are telling
know
him do it.
I agree with you, but at the same time, he the moment he told Ellie, "I promise," he knew he was killing
Oh
him.
yeah, he knew.
He knew it.
I promise.
Even though he didn't like it and it burnt him, and everything you said is true. Before they even turned to walk away, the moment he said, "Excuse me," I promise, he had every intention to kill him.
Exactly. And that's why Ellie
So
stopped and looked at him because it was the same face he made. And she
yeah,
says that. And she's
she
like,
knew he was on.
I knew it. And that's why whenever she came down, she didn't say anything. She didn't, she just was almost in shock because she's like, okay, well, that answers all my questions that I have on this paper. That answered every bit of it. And then he goes and lies to Gail.
So here is why, and this just hit me. This just hit me just now. And now I feel a little better about Ellie because it's just hit me. But here is why I think that this is very intentional about how they're painting Ellie. Because what Ellie did was extremely selfish. Because what Joel did to Eugene was probably wrong. Because again, if you go back, according to the chart, if you get bit in your chest area, you got 2 to 8 hours before you change, right? And so, technically speaking, they could have made it. But James, you stole my thunder because that's exactly where I was going with this.
Dad,
But
shut
he
up.
did. But no, he's right. He told her, "We have rules. Watch this. We have rules, and they're in there for a reason." And she's like, "Dude, let him see his fucking wife. I want you to remember that." That was selfish. She thought she was doing right by Bill, Eugene,
Mm-hmm.
by breaking the rules for him. Who does that sound like?
That sounds like Joel, but
Sounds like Joel. Strike one. Strike two. What Joel did for Eugene's wife was actually, in my opinion, the right thing to do.
oh,
Let
one
her
one hundred
let
percent.
her feel like her husband was, his last thoughts was of her, and he offed himself because he didn't want to put the community, and he went out as a hero. That was the right thing. Ellie, being extremely selfish, was like, Joel, you got to pay for lying to me, and I'm going to make you pay at the expense of her feelings. Extremely selfish because she felt she was right in outing him. Who's that sound like?
Joel.
Joel. So she doesn't realize that she is slowly becoming the person that she's despising. And that just hit me just now. And now I'm like, okay, I'm actually kind of liking what they're doing with Ellie because they're showing her becoming the man that she hates. And I hope that they bring it all to a head and it hits her. Holy shit, I'm Joel. Because the way she's acting right now, including in acting her revenge, is all Joel. So that journey to becoming Joel started before he died. That's dope, man. That just hit me just now.
Let me tell you what I think that Joel left room for error. Here's reason. Here's right, but here's the reason. Joel left the room for error, where when he was explaining the rules, you shoot point blank, make sure they're scratched, make sure they're bit, make sure they're infected, but then you shoot point blank, no questions asked. He waited way too long, and then Ellie gets the idea of, hey, or dude, he lets the dude talk more. Like, all I
Sure,
need to know
sure.
is if you're infected. As soon as you say you're infected, pow, you're gone. He should have done it then. Instead, he left room for error, and then that's when all this hurricane of things with Ellie wanting to uncover his lies and making him promise knowing he was going to lie. Also, I feel like a bit of Ellie wasn't just trusting Joel on his word, she was testing Joel. She was using somebody else as an experiment. She's like, well, this dude's already dead, so who else better to test this out on?
Yeah. Okay. I hear what you're saying. I think you might be giving her too much credit, but I hear what you're saying. But I will say this though is Joel's gonna shoot him. She stepped in. Whoa, whoa, wait, and did the whole hand thing. Remember, Joel was about that life. Like, oh, you bit, clack, 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 and she was like, whoa, whoa, wait, hold your hands out. Um, but I do think that
Yes, what my dad just said.
yeah, the roles are switching, and they 100%. And I don't know when in this series it'll dawn on her, but I like now that they're showing the change occurred before his death. I like that. I that just dawned on me, and now I'm like, ooh, okay. I actually appreciate the episode more because okay, yeah, that's dope. The transition started because that's the point of the game, right? Is that
Hmm.
revenge, how we react to revenge, and you see her become Joel in the game. Oh, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, that's good, man. I'm excited now. I'm excited. I hope they don't let me down, but I'm excited now.
I was thinking last night too, when watching the episode, Moth is the sign of death. But I was like, how much more effective would it have been if it was a butterfly with the butterfly effect? Based on your actions, things went this way. Had you not done those actions, things would have went another way. The
I
butterfly
mean,
effect would have made more sense, but I guess because the game, how they wrote it in the game, I just don't know why. Like, I could. Joel is the moth. That's
is
the
he?
symbolism. Yes, Joel's the moth. Think about it.
Why?
She's been
Because he didn't bring the cure to the world.
Yeah, because he didn't bring the cure, and Ellie has wanted to die since Riley. Since the moment that she shot and killed Riley and realized that Ellie wasn't going to die, she has wanted to kill herself. She just doesn't want to kill herself. She wants
So
something else to take her out. So because Joel took her death away from her, Joel is then death, and her death would have mattered. Like she
what?
said, her death would have been a cure.
So I think I agree with everything you're saying, but I think that makes her the moth. She wants death. She's wanted death, which is why she's gravitated to this symbol of death because
Yeah.
she's wanted death. I don't see Joel as the moth. I see her as being the moth. Like
Okay.
she wants death.
I, th-
But I
I
hear
think
you.
I think it really I think I'm now more leaning on what you're saying. I guess the way I'm thinking about it was a little backwards, but I also can see both sides how they're
Yeah, I
both
agree.
playing each wing of the moth.
I think both things can be true for
I
sure.
don't, or
Yeah.
maybe like Joel's the moth and she keeps it on her. I don't know.
Man,
I'm reaching. I'm reaching.
no, I think both things can be true. I will say this, man, in the interest of time, that I that that scene pissed me off because again, Ellie is so angry at Joel about what she thinks she knows, not what she actually knows. And I just feel like that the anger wouldn't be as intense when there's an element of maybe he is telling the truth there. Whereas in the game, because she knows, she is pissed. Um, but now that I thought this through and I realized they want to show her turning into Joel early. Now I like it. Now I dig it. Let's end on this, bro, because um I can feel myself sounding a little more nasally.
Oh
Um
man.
no, it's all good. But I want to talk about that porch scene. Your dad mentioned something that was is true, whether I like Ellie or not. The acting in this episode was incredible. I just saw what he said. We're about to
Bro, it's
find
so
out.
stupid.
We're about to find out, bro. We're about to find out.
Actually, yeah.
We about to find out. But oh,
Don't spoil. Don't spoil.
He just said a mouthful, don't even know it. But
I
I'm
know.
gonna chill. I'm gonna fall back.
I actually
Um,
know. I actually do know that part of the game,
well,
unfortunately.
well, I won't spoil it for him then. But the porch scene. Do you like the fact that they combine what happened? Oh shoot, you haven't got. Have you gotten to the part in the game where asks Joel what really happened?
Yeah, where cause she asks him whenever they find Adam and or Anna or somebody. I don't know.
I
They
can't
find
remember
these two
part
kids.
two.
And there's just two kids that went missing from Jackson like 2 years ago, and then it's in a draw
No, no,
flashback.
no, no. I'm talking about when he actually tells her the truth. Have you gotten to that part?
Oh no, I thought that was like at the end of the game.
No, no, no. Okay, okay. All I'm gonna say is they combine. So the porch scene in the series is not how it goes in the game. All right, this is gonna be tough to talk about because I don't want to spoil it. They
I know
combine
the porch scene's at the end of the game. Like it
right,
closes on
so
that.
they combine two very pivotal parts of the game into one scene
Hmm.
for this episode. I don't. I thought that scene was incredible. I'm not gonna dive into it because you haven't played it, and I want you to feel it. I thought that scene was incredible, but in the game, I think how the truth gets revealed has more impact than the way it is on the game in this series. But in the series, because of the fact that it's a series and they got to get to certain points, they put these two pieces together. And if you haven't played the game, it works. But when you play the game, you're gonna go, nah, I like the game better. That's in my opinion. In my opinion. I thought the porch scene was fantastic. Me and you talked about it, and I was like, I hope they do it it's really cool that they're bringing it up this early because, as you said, it is at the end of the game. And I like the fact that we were seeing it early, or at least I was hoping we seen it early, and we
I
did.
think it's a really good closure for where we're heading in the finale next week. By the way, I'm so excited. I
Yeah,
think it's a really good closure point. That way, we can fully cap off Joel's story
Joel's
for the
story.
time being.
Hmm.
For the time being, his story is officially closed, and it ends on a very bittersweet note, but more
Yep.
sweet than bitter.
Yep. No, I agree 100%. Um, Let me know when you get to that piece of the game. But in the game, when he actually tells her the truth, is different than in the TV show. But in this series, it works. But I think it was more impactful in the game.
I would say I'm right now. I actually just passed the part where Joel and Ellie fight that bloater in that apartment building right there across the street from the
In the
music
hotel.
place. Yeah, or in the hotel. Yeah, across the
Yeah,
street from the music store.
yeah.
By the way, the
That's
craziest damn bloater I've ever seen. That Joker
so
was
dope.
fast.
And would not go down.
Oh, actually, I'll tell you where I'm at in the game. I'm at in the game right now. Like I said, I'm on my way to the hospital, and I'm in this building. I haven't seen any infected or any seraphites or any wolves in a while, actually. And I was searching this building, really tall building, and I'm in the bottom of it, and I keep hearing stuff, and I'm like, "Is this place settling that hard?" And I get to the corner, and I'm like, "I'm a crouch, and I'm gonna hit R1." And dude, there's white dots everywhere. And I'm like, oh my God, there's stalkers everywhere. And I peek around
Yeah.
the corner, there's one staring at me. I hit pause and I got off. I'm like, I'm not doing this right now.
I don't remember what part you're in, but that sounds right though.
Yeah, I was like, I'm
Um,
not doing this.
yeah, yeah, you gotta be in the right mindset for that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the season finale, man, and I'm also looking forward to the fact that we don't have to wait long for season three, because they're filming it.
Hopefully
So
only a year. I'm hoping only a
yeah,
year. I can't do another 2 or 3 years. Like that's insane.
I there are rumors, and I hope it's not true, because if they are, then they're picking the wrong time to stretch things out. But there are rumors that they might do a season four. I really hope not, because if they were going to do that, then they should have stretched out season two
Yeah.
and season one. They could have gave us so much more. So I hope that that's not true. I hope they wrap this up in season three and call it a day, because if they were going to stretch it out, they should have did it this season and season one. It's definitely
Yeah.
this season. Season one, I thought it was a little rushed, but they did a really good job.
I
But
love season one is perfect to me through and through, even after
agree.
playing the game. My dad actually sat in here. They come over for storms because they live in a trailer, so they come over to my brick apartment and they stay and let storms ride out. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, just play Last of Us One. And he started it his first time ever playing it on New Game Plus. I let
Hmm.
him do that. Figured it might be a better experience, play through
Yeah,
it
get them
faster.
graphics.
And within an hour and 30 minutes, he made it really far.
He wasn't
Like,
exploring enough. You gotta. He wasn't pressing triangle enough.
yeah, right. But anyway, um, what do you have coming out pretty soon
You mean besides the movie that I got coming
besides the
out?
movie?
Uh, so yeah, so the biggest thing right now, the priority for me, and I appreciate you asking, is definitely the premiere of Hurt and Private, which comes out June 14th. If you're in the Charlotte area, we're gonna do one night only in the theater, and then it will be available to stream shortly after. We're still working out which streaming services will be available on. So more to come on that. Um, Besides that, just my YouTube channel, right? The Fantasy Zone is what I'm working on alongside with you, my friend. But the biggest thing right now is the movie, man. That is taking up all my time and money.
I
Just so you all
hopefully.
know, this is an independent film. Written by me, directed by a great friend of mine, Dwayne Etheridge, shot by Benji Fresh Productions, and executive produced by myself, Benji and Dwayne. Putting up our own money for this thing. But we put something together, man. I think is really, really dope, and I can't wait for the world to see it. Not the bootleg DVD. Sorry,
Mhm.
I'm reading. But
Dude, I will pay you if you could get a physical copy. I'd pay you for it, and I'd like pay for the shipping and everything.
oh,
And
well, man, I
I
appreciate that, brother. Well, maybe we can work that out. But we're definitely doing rentals via streaming. But maybe we will offer some hard copies. I know I am someone who likes hard copies. I know
I do
that
too.
is some
My little
people.
collection right there. It's little.
Oh, not mine. I definitely have a few thousand hard copy Blu-rays and DVDs. But so yeah, it's tough to gauge. You know what I mean? Sometimes you say, hey, DVDs are for sale, and you sell five, but people download the digital copy hundreds of thousands. So we'll
Right.
figure it out. But I agree. I'm a hard copy person myself. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate you asking. But that's what I'm working on. That's what I got coming up.
Yes, sir. Y'all go check him out. As for me, I just went and watched Sinners and Final Destination Bloodlines. I love both of them. Sinners is one of my favorite movies of all time now.
I
I
checked
gave
your
it a
review,
5 out of
man. It was a
5.
great review, brother.
That damn review got copyright, dude.
Yeah.
I
Why?
deleted it. It's in my intro.
Oh wow.
My royalty free music that I've used in every video is copyrighted.
Like you can't
And
even use it on YouTube. They told you to stop using it.
this said he got strict with my copyright claim.
Oh
And
wow.
told me it was my intro music and who and why and everything, but said
They,
that it was
they,
only a claim, it's not a strike or anything. So like,
I got you. So copyright claims aren't that big a deal if they give you permission to use it on YouTube. Because I have a couple of videos that I've used music, and they say owner allows users to use on YouTube. So as long as it's fine. But if it's stopping you from being able to reproduce it due to copyright, then yeah, there's not much you can do about it. That sucks, bro.
mm,
That means
nah,
they
it's
must
all
have
right
changed
though.
their mind. It must have been free at first, but then probably a lot of people are using it, and that artist probably was like, you know what, I need to start making some money on this thing.
Right. I don't even know how to license things out. I've tried. I don't know how to do it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I got my Sinners review out. My shorts are doing pretty good. I'm getting like I had a video hit 4,000 views, and I was like, dang.
Nice, man.
So that
Yeah,
was pretty cool.
nice. Well, keep it up, bro. I love your stuff. I love being on your channel, man. Thank you for having me as always.
Ain't
Um,
no problem. I love your stuff, dude. And I'm trying to catch up on videos. I took my break, and then now I'm catching up on everything, movies and videos. And so yeah, I'm still catching up on your stuff. I'm actually finna go make me some food and watch some of your videos now, actually.
I appreciate you, brother. Man, yeah, you'll get there, man, for sure. You'll get there. Just keep doing your thing.
Yes, sir.
But
And I'm wishing luck to your health and to your movie.
thank you, man. I appreciate you, brother. But more to come. You'll see. You'll definitely see it. I'll make sure of that. All
All
right.
right.
All right,
Well,
brother.
y'all have a
Till
good
next
night.
week.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.